So basically, the minimum monthly payments for you to not go into like collections or anything is right around like 200 or $2,250. Does that sound about right?
That sounds about right. Yeah.
That's insane, and this is for stuff that you've already purchased. That's not even you spending $2,250 and getting new things. And then you said you have a home, so you owe money on this home, I assume. What is your mortgage payment?
$990 a month.
These minimum monthly payments are 64% of your take home income on a monthly basis. Those are minimum payments on things you owe. So debt is controlling 64% of your money every single month. That's crazy. Welcome to Monthly Money, where we take a look at someone's past month spendings versus the income that came in and see how that all comes together to meet their financial goals they are trying to obtain. Today we are meeting with Robert. Robert, how are you?
Doing pretty good.
How old are you and where are you from?
I am 38 years old and I am originally from Albany, Georgia, but now I live in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Nice. What do you do for a living?
I am a MRI and X-ray technologist.
Very cool. How much do you make a year?
Um, Last thing I looked at was in the neighborhood of $54,000.
Why in the neighborhood?
Because I have a bad history of not keeping up with that sort of stuff. That's why we're having this conversation.
Oh, okay. It's going to be like that.
You know what? So the way that we get paid, it's not just like a base rate times however many hours you work. There's shift differentials involved and all kinds of craziness. But on a base rate, let's see. Um, that's per week. For base rate 51,000.
And then there's bonuses?
So it's not so much a bonus. I work third shift or the graveyard shift, and so between, and this is typical in healthcare in general, between certain hours you get kind of incentives to work those hours because they're not ideal. So you'll get like a second shift differential, which is an extra like dollar per hour or whatnot. I think the third shift that I normally get, or that is the most of my pay, is an extra $2 per hour, and that's the vast majority of my shift. So
Okay, very cool. So about $54,000 a year. Now, what are some of the financial goals that you're trying to achieve right now, and what are the barriers that are standing between you and them?
my wife, no, I kid. Uh, Barriers. There's a lot of things that I do out of habit, um, and I'm trying to break those. I'm getting better at it, and I figured coming to you and looking over what we do on a monthly basis, getting another set of eyes on it to try to fine tune things and to make it better is the ultimate goal. Um, we need to make some improvements on the house. We want to like add a second bathroom. Um, I want to get a lot of our just little nagging bills taken care of. And ultimately, if I can set myself up for the future to have a somewhat decent retirement, that would be perfect. And that's kind of the ultimate goal.
Sure. So, how much does she bring in? Because this is a dual income household.
It is. I don't have any of her information. We are filing jointly, or we do file jointly. I think last year our combined income, I guess the total adjusted income was like 73,000. She brings in about 25,000 a year, 20 25.
Okay. Okay. So, these accounts that we have here, are they all the accounts between you two, or is this just you?
So those are the accounts that she and I share. There is one. So the spreadsheet that I sent you that's titled bills has a Capital One credit card that she has. I don't know anything about it. I don't have a card for it. It could be grossly incorrect for the balance that I have, but
Okay. All right. Well, let's take a look. Jumping into your monthly money, we'll start with First Bank. In here, looks like there is a interest checking and then savings account. So for the checking, beginning balance $770, brought in $6,392, taken out $6,870, a few $100 more taken out. Ending balance $292. Now it depends where that money goes, but how do you feel that a few hundred were taken out and there's only $292 in there, which is pretty minimal for a checking account?
yeah, yeah. Uh,
There was also an overdraft fee of $35.
there was, yeah. Um, I think, I think that, I think that was the month we had a couple things go wrong with her car, one of which was buying like a whole new set of tires. And while I think our overall like financial like picture is okay, we tend to keep that account at a very like shoestring, or very like, if anything crazy happens over the month, it's not a not a great outcome.
Yeah, because if you keep it at that shoestring, that's where that overdraft fees.
Yeah.
How often does an overdraft fee happen in your experience?
Back in the day, a lot. I would have overdraft fees for the overdraft fees, which was insane. But now, not so much. That might be the first one in at least 6 to 8 months, if not more.
Oh, 6 to 8 months, that's not that long, but I am glad to hear that it has gotten better. So let's take a look at some of the spending. We have Sonic drive-through for essentially $17, $16. Some Walmart stuff, transferring to USAA, good amount of Walmart stuff, taking care of your beard for $35.
That's a haircut too.
Marcus,
Yeah.
some wings, Chick-fil-A, 5-star food service, 5-star food service, 5-star food service. Are those like vending machines? Because it's like 165.
I knew exactly. Yeah. I when I sent you that statement, it's like, he's gonna point this out right here. That is exactly what you expect. It's vending machines from work. That's the 3 in the morning. I forgot to bring something from home, grab something to drink, get a sandwich or something.
Yeah, and then there's like a few more plus then under other vending machines for the beverage. So a good amount of those. Oh, and then some more expensive. That's a $7 vending machine there. And then Hardee's, Panera Bread, Kindle purchases, Apple purchases, Burger King. It's a good amount of eating out on here. Fried chicken. Then also a good amount of Walmart as well. And then here come the vending machines once more, and Dunkin' Donuts and Bojangles and Hardee's. And wow, I wonder how long this goes. This is only 30 days, but it's still scrolling. Oh wow, looking at just the dates on these purchases, there are charges coming out of your account for a variety of purchases multiple times a day, just on the first of the month. Apple, Amazon, fried chicken, Amazon, some Food City, Gas and Go, Fiesta Mexican, Walmart.com, Marshalls, a web payment that you made to Capital One, that was it but that was just in one day. And then continuing, there's still things like multiple Chick-fil-A's, continued Walmart, Buffalo Wild Wings, pest control. Again, that's all within a single day. Then Hardee's and some Erlanger dining. It just keeps going. The scrolling just continues and continues. I'm on page I think 7 right now. No, I'm going to page 8, and there's some stuff that I'm skipping because it's gonna just get repetitive. But just some transfers back and forth, and here comes the Coca-Cola vending machine and the 5-star food service and the Hardee's. Man, dude, it just goes. And Domino's, and there's an other page still. A good amount of Venmoing. Is that between you and your wife or friends or what?
It depends on what it is. If it's like we have a guy that comes by and like takes care of our yard once every 2 weeks, and we pay him through Venmo. And there's some stuff we pay like family off with. She does things at work with it. It's, you know,
They're expensive. Like 40 was taken away there, 10 was taken away there, Venmo payment of 50 there. And then Burger King and Beverage World, and you're making like, so to USAA put in $100 there. Oh, it's finally coming to an end on page, what is this, 11? Good Guys Moving. So did you guys recently move?
we had some things moved out of a storage unit into the house.
Mm. And then an auto payment to Best Buy for 150. Am I to understand you have a Best Buy credit card?
I do. That's a payment. That's not a purchase or anything. I mean, it is a payment.
A Best Buy store card.
Yeah.
Oh, good. Out of all the store cards, Best Buy. Because you can get almost anything from Best Buy on Amazon, but you may as well get an Amazon store card and have 5% cash back on all purchases. But did you finance a specific purchase with this Best Buy credit card?
So originally, yeah, and you hopefully you would be proud of me for this. I went to Best Buy. I had cash in hand to buy a computer, to buy a laptop for my coursework I was going into to do MRI. Cash in hand. The guy at the register said, "Hey, hear me out. Get the card, introductory 10% back, in store credit. Just pay it off when you get the first statement in." And I did that originally. So yeah, that's
Originally. What has happened since?
you know, Christmas gifts, video games here, cable there, power adapter this, screen that. Yeah.
Because there's an automatic payment on there, so I'm curious the interest. Well, we might get into that. USAA. Oh, so it looks like this is a credit card.
That is.
USAA. Okay, you have a credit limit of $12,000 and available credit of $7,250. So that means there's a new balance of $4,749. That's a lot. Minimum payment, that's also a lot, $110. Yikes. Payments only of $100 last month. With new purchases of $23, I'm sorry, but you can't do new purchases on a card that has a balance. It means you can't afford it.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's probably not too many purchases on here just with that small amount, but let's see what it was. 5-star food service and a Pepsi vending machine and Wendy's and Dunkin' Donuts. So certainly not necessities.
No, not necessities. Usually if that card gets whipped out, it's because there was a period of time where mine wasn't working, or the reader wasn't working or something like that.
My dude, you're breaking my heart because I'm over here. I'm loving your mic setup, your audio setup, and I love this whole thing. And now you're breaking my heart with this debt.
That's why I'm here. I'm wanting to get
I know.
like second set of eyes on my stuff. Yeah.
I gotcha. Total interest charged in 2022, essentially $500. You've lost $500 because of this card.
That's on the USAA.
That's just one of your debts. So that is a big yikes for me. So, and then we don't even know what's up with the wife's card. So let's look at the bills. Is the first okay, so the first column is the total due.
Right. Yeah. So this is my, it's not obviously not like an exhaustive the thing that everybody is budget. There we go. It's not an exhaustive budget. It's a list of the bills that we have that are not like the house mortgage, nothing crazy. But I've created this spreadsheet to kind of give me an idea of where we are with the balance, how much we're putting into it, how much the payments are. That's the other column. Um, and then paying them off the smallest amount first, and then rolling that payment into the next biggest balance. That's why the first two listings, the medical bills, have zero balances because those have been paid off.
Very good. We can celebrate that. That's good. So you're doing smallest to largest. You're doing the snowball method.
A la Dave Ramsey, your fave.
Yeah. Yeah. He just flew across the screen. So Erlanger for there's a $943 balance there. What's that? What is that?
That's the local hospital here. That is a medical bill for a procedure that my wife had.
So there were some pretty major medical stuff then.
Yeah, fortunately, she's fine. She's good. There was just some things that had to be taken care of before it became a bigger issue. So
Sure. I'm sorry to hear that, and I hate that medical debt's even a thing. Out of all the debts that exist, it feels wrong. But
I'm a bit. I mean, it's kind of job security for me, but I agree. It's a bit weird.
fair enough.
But
And then wait, Marcus debt?
is that what is it? Yeah. So that okay. That is a consolidation loan from bills we had like years. Well, not too many years ago. Maybe like 2 or 3 years ago.
So you guys have not since how long have you been married?
Since 25th. So October will be 7 years.
So for 7 years, you guys have just been spending and not really thinking about what it takes to, correctly budget and stuff like that, right?
That's why we are on this journey.
Well, I'm happy you guys have started it because that is the hardest step. There's definitely things here to fix it to help accelerate that, but we'll get into that. So you have a Best Buy balance of $1,900, $150 payment. The
now. I updated that today. It's 1,500 now.
Very good. The Erlanger. So again, that's 943 with $59 there. Capital One, and that's the wife's credit card.
Right.
1,843, $50 minimum payment there. That make sure she's not spending a single cent on that. That will probably require a conversation, making sure you're all on the same page. But just like you're no longer allowed to spend a single cent on your USAA one, she can't on that because you guys can't afford that. If you're trying to pay these down, you cannot put more debt on them.
Very counterproductive. Yeah.
And then, yep, the USAA, we already talked about that. And then the Marcus one, that's $4,213. Old bills. It sucks that you're paying for bills that were years ago when you're trying to get out of all this. But you spent the money, and now you owe it. And it's coming to bite you in the butt with $118.83 minimum payment. TVFCU, $4,464. What's that?
So that is a loan. TVFCU is the Tennessee Valley Federal Credit Union. And that's a loan that we had to take out to put a new roof on the house.
Oh, man. Was it like an emergency dire state?
That was a learning curve. I don't think it was an emergency. It was something that definitely needed to be done, but probably could have waited in hindsight. We were having problems finding homeowners insurance because we got dropped by this is our first house that we had. So a lot of this is a learning curve. And we got dropped by our insurance company because of the roof. So we took that as if we want insurance coverage, we need a new roof. So we got a new roof.
All right. Well, it's in the past. And then a car. We have a car. $14,407 with a $487 minimum payment. So much money. Are these the minimum monthly payments in the right column, or are they what you're paying?
So in the right column, The only thing that is not a minimum balance is the Best Buy, because we rolled the two previous bills into that. The Best Buy media or a minimum due is like $30.
So basically, the minimum monthly payments for you to not go into like collections or anything is right around like 200 or $2,250. Does that sound about right?
That sounds about right. Yeah.
That's insane, and this is for stuff that you've already purchased. That's not even you spending $2,250 and getting new things. And then you said you have a home, so you owe money on this home, I assume. What is your mortgage payment?
$990 a month.
You guys probably bring in around $5,000 a month after taxes and everything.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
Is these minimum monthly payments are 64% of your take home income on a monthly basis. Those are minimum payments on things you owe. So debt is controlling 64% of your money every single month. That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I understand why you feel like you're drowning now and wanted another, oh man, because that's so hard. So what is the interest rate on this car?
If I don't have it available to me right now, but I'm pretty sure it's
4%. It's 4%. So, okay. Well, I mean, with your situation and the way you've talked about the debts and understand the debts, the method that you've talked about of snowballing definitely makes sense for your situation. I'm a situation to situation person, not a one size fits all like the other guy, but the other guy's advice works perfect for the majority of people, and you fall into the majority of people with you've stacked up just few thousands of credit on different accounts. You just have to essentially kill them smallest to largest, and that just makes sense. You could go higher interest rate to lowest, but I think it makes sense with the different accounts you have to snowball them from the lowest to the biggest when it comes to their size. So probably Erlanger first, and then Capital One. Well, you said Best Buy's updated, so probably then Best Buy, and then Capital One, then Marcus, then USAA, then TV, FCU, and then the car.
That honestly makes me happy to hear that you think that that's a good plan.
That's a good plan. What's broken from your plan right now is you are eating out, going to vending machines constantly. You can't do it. You can't afford it. It's not in your budget. It doesn't make sense. If you actually want to be free from the 63% of your income taken away every month, you both need to be on the same page, buckle down, and not spend any monies on things that aren't 100% necessities. It's really the only option if you actually want the outcome that I feel like you want. But right now, you guys are kind of half at it.
That makes sense. Deep down inside, I knew that was going to be probably the end result. Like as I was sending you the statements, I was like, do I really want to do this? Do I really want to be this open and let people see my let somebody, a complete stranger that I've seen on YouTube, but it do I want him to see the stuff that I do with my bank account?
Well, I think it's good because one, it can kind of reset your perspective on things, kind of light a fire, which is good. Two, there are going to be people out there that relate to this conversation and will help them. So I know it's always hard to kind of have a more negative story showcased on the internet, but promise me when I tell you, just based on the comments I read and the emails I get, it is going to help people. So
that's good.
Yeah. For the little bit of embarrassment that you feel right now, it has a great amount of reward in the overall scheme of things. So yeah.
I did want to ask another thing. I've set it up to where in the Tennessee Valley account, there's a second savings account that's not attached to the first bank, like our main checking spending account.
The shared account with $2,000 in it.
Right, right. So I have it set up to where I'm purposely putting more money in there than what's needed. So the TVFCU, the roof loan, and the car loan are automatically withdrawn from that account. But I have like an extra $500 a month put in there. Um, should I worry about, or should I keep that in there, keep that little savings going, or when that amount is up to a point where I can just pay off one of these bills, should I just do that, or should I keep the savings?
It's hard to say. One thing I disagree with the person that we were discussing, the $1,000, starting thing for his program doesn't really make sense in 2022 with the inflation since, that program started. $1,000, what, probably like 3,000, 4,000, something like that, because it's been in use for decades and he's not really willing to adapt with time. So $1,000, you can't sustain anything for a month in today's world. And with your minimum monthly payments here, $1,000 wouldn't even put a dent in it if that's all you had. I would be okay with getting that up to about 5,000 and then no more until everything else is clear, and then fully building your 6-month emergency fund. That's what I think would be okay, because at least that will help pay the minimum monthly payments for like a month while you desperately look to get a job or run DoorDash if, one of you were to lose a job in that month or something. Luckily, medical, pretty secure industry. What does she do?
So I'm honestly kind of jealous of her job.
Okay.
She works for a programs called Wages or Tennessee Wages, and all they do is cut checks to early learning teachers. That's it. They supplement their income.
Well, as jealous you might be, there might be a tough conversation that you might want to hold, where her income is actually pretty not great. And if she was able to get, her income is below the 48.5% of Americans who make $30,000 or less. She's below that threshold of the $30,000. She's in a low income position. So really a way that would accelerate this whole process is if she was able to find a job that at least paid like $40,000 a year, which in the workers' economy is not incredibly difficult to find, especially in Chattanooga. It's a pretty decent job market, I assume. I know Tennessee is kind of a boom state right now.
Yeah.
I know that's a tough conversation to have because she might love her job and everything like that. Are you guys on the same page when it comes to spending and accomplishing these goals in the same time frame and sacrifices?
I feel like we're getting there. I know she is not. I'm not a fan of having hard conversations either, but I feel like she's particularly not a fan. She's kind of the idea of the bills are paid, we're doing okay, our life is like, we're not super stressed, but I also fear that that's one catastrophe away from being super stressed.
You guys should be super stressed if over 60% of your money is going to purchases that have already happened.
Yeah.
That to me is a disaster.
When you put that in the numbers, it's like, oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, your debt to income ratio is disastrous. And that's why I think you should have $5,000 set aside before you take care of all this, because of those minimum monthly payments. Most people don't even say to do that much, but you just have so much crap due every month. Then you have food expenses on top of that, and utilities and stuff like that, and car maintenance. But seriously, vending machines, eating out, those do not exist until these are gone. They can't. And that's where the stress might be felt, but the real stress of your money getting taken away every single month is going to exist in a much shorter period of time if you actually strap down and work this thing out, which I think you can do, but you both also need to be on the same page about it. Do you have any side hustles? Like, you have a pretty sweet setup there. Do you do anything there for money?
I mean, I'm always open to I've looked into like doing voiceovers or whatnot, and that's a really hard market to get into. This is all because I do a podcast as a hobby with me and a friend of mine. So side hustles, like I've done door dashing here and there. It's not I feel like it doesn't really outweigh the wear and tear on the car, and with gas prices the way that they were, it's better now. That was kind of on a pause. I have thought about getting a second job. Like I work 3 12-hour shifts during the week. So I have 4 other days that I feel like I could add something in there on. But
I mean, anything you're willing to do to increase income would be good. As a household, you guys are above the U.S. median. She's the one really with a low paying job. So I think primary for trying to get income up would be on her end. But of course, any work you're willing to do. But it would suck to be putting in these extra hours if you guys don't cut back on the other things and if you don't stop spending on the credit cards. It'll just be kind of be for naught, just to sustain your lifestyle. So what are you going to do?
well, I guess there's no more vending machines, like you said. I just have to. She and I, we really do need to have a sit down and a heart to heart. It's good to know that it seems like I'm at least on the right path, on the right trail. But I mean, over 60%. God, I mean, there's really nothing else. No other way to do it. No other way to put it. Just I have to rein in the eating out and the vending machines, like you said, make the sandwiches, bring it to work, and get this stuff paid off.
You've started the path. Now it's time to strap down and kick some butt so you guys can enjoy the rest of your life with no actual stress. When it comes to money, at least.
That'd be great.
Let Robert know what you think about his financial situation in the comments below, and feel free to check out his podcast as well, which is linked in the description. Shout out to my 4 Cups of Coffee supporters: Abdil Martinez, Mark, Josh Bennett, Clayton006, Tyler Chong, Drew Smith, Timothy Williams, Sam I Am, Jason Spriggs, Nicholas Daly, Tom L, Jay Freedom, and Hans. 8 Cups of Coffee supporters making the dream come true: Joseph Strickland, Anthony, an anonymous supporter, and Sam V03. Subscribe and stick around for more. Thanks.